Good morning, January 11th, 2016. As most of you already know, we lost David Bowie to a battle with cancer, a secret battle with cancer, I guess. And he's kind of a big loss. I mean, what a, influential artist he has been over the years. And it just got me thinking about, big picture stuff. And I want us to think as a studio about some big picture things today. Two big picture things. Number one, what makes up great singing? What makes a great singer? David Bowie, such a powerful, expressive artist. But as we analyze his vocal sound, is his vocal sound the best vocal sound? Well, why was he such a powerful artist? I want to explore that topic real quick. And also, I want to talk to you guys about your goals for this year, okay? So let's first talk about David Bowie and his singing. We'll celebrate him that way. As you listen to his singing, he doesn't always sing in tune. He doesn't always make vocal sounds that would be considered aesthetically pleasing. So what is it that makes him such a killer singer and such a powerful singer? See, we could be here just for, half talking some of those lines. But here are a couple things I think that make him a great singer. Well, let me say the first biggest thing that supersedes all of those vocal things I said. He's expressive. He's a very emotive singer, expressive. Think about Under Pressure was, God, what an emotional vocal delivery him and Freddie Mercury had, vocal performance. And that's the thing about it is it made me think about technique, and all of these videos that I'm about to do for you guys over the course of this next year, they're going to get very technical and very specific and very analytical and very much in that technique side of your brain. So I wanted to take a moment and just look at the big picture of singing before I go down that road and see why is it that David Bowie is such a powerful artist if he doesn't always sing in tune. He does have a cool tone quality to his voice, I think everyone would agree about that. And he did, I'm not saying he's not a technically proficient singer. I mean, he could hop into his falsetto and he did cool things with his voice, but there wasn't always this pristine sort of perfect placement of the sound or even a care for that. So what that just brings up to me is this topic that's super important to me, is the understanding of how to apply your vocal technique. As we work as singers and we're studying technique and studying the voice, it becomes an overwhelming thing to think about all of the things you could know about vocal technique. Opening your throat, breathing properly, understanding the way the diaphragm works, different types of breathing support for belting versus classical sound, vibrato, opening your throat when you're singing in your head voice, understanding your transitions into your passaggi and upper registers. How are those different between different styles of singing? What vowels do you use? How do you do runs? How do you get your voice to sound? I mean, the world of vocal technique is huge, and there's so much that we can talk about that it almost becomes all-consuming. But what I want to make super clear and try to really make sure that everybody understands this focus as you're studying technique is that the technique that we work on should be a tool to help you be expressive. The point is expression. When we have these songs that we're singing, there's a message, there's an intent, there's something sort of nebulous floating around in the expressive world that has to come through us to then get to other people to reach them. And in treating ourselves as a conduit or a channel for expression, it makes it very clear what our technique is for. And it also makes it very clear when people are singing for their technique's sake as opposed to for expression's sake. David Bowie was a very emotional singer. And when somebody's a really great emotional singer, you'll find that you're going to forgive certain sounds that they make. It's like, and in fact, those imperfect sounds that we might hear in a singer, that maybe they come off their voice a little bit, or maybe they crack, or maybe it doesn't, but it's from an emotional place. We love that. I think about that song, Jealousy by Labyrinth. And that guy, jealous, yeah, his voice is all over the place when he's singing that song. And it's like, But it's so emotional. Another singer who's kind of raw and wild vocally, lead singer for Neutral Milk Hotel. I mean, that singing is raw, but it's very, very effective. And so for me, great singing doesn't have to do with how many runs or how high you can sing or your all of the bells and whistles that we think of as a society makeup. Oh, that's a great singer. For me, what makes up great singing is effective singing, appropriate singing. Appropriate singing, what do we mean by appropriate? I mean appropriate to the expression that you're trying to convey. That's the key. Because this is about reaching people. If we're just work on our vocal technique and then we get up to sing in front of people and we're just going to show off our technique for people, I have to say that that's, for me, that's missing the point, There is a great joy in understanding and unlocking all of the vocal technique discoveries that we unlock together. But that's only one small part of the big picture of the joy of singing. The joy of singing is this selfless giving of an expressive idea through you and your technique. Your technique are the tools to get the expression through you. Now, where technique is so important is that if you're going to convey some certain message and it requires you to make this particular sound in the style of music you're working in, like operatic, you have to sing a high note with open throat. If you're singing an operatic piece and your vocal technique isn't there, you won't be able to get the expression out correctly, because each medium, the technique are kind of the tools that you use to get the expression out. So that's where your technique is so critical in building it, is so that you can become a better expressive artist, okay? So I want you guys to really think about that this week. The technique, the point of technique, is to help better serve you being an expressive artist. And the greatest vocal technique is a technique that works for you, not a technique that you have to constantly, be thinking about when you're singing. You will always be working for your technique, daily exercises, making sure it's placed properly, etc. But when you get to performance mode, the technique should be working for you, and you're thinking about emotion and expression, and there will be some times in a song that you're singing where you've got to think about, okay, here comes that high note, I better make sure I'm dropping my breath, when you're in the middle of a show or an emotional performance. And then you go right back to the emotion. In a perfect world, the goal would be that your technique works so flawlessly that you don't even have to think about it at all in a singing. The reality is, though, I can say for myself and a lot of my colleagues, it's very rare that you'll have a performance where technique doesn't at least pop in your head a little bit, okay? So that's what I want you to think about this week. And also I want you to talk about with your instructors too, or myself, or with whoever you're working with, about what your goals are for 2016. Do you have goals of getting into a show, getting a solo at your church choir, of getting a lead in the show, finishing an EP, finishing maybe a song, finding a band to perform with, making sure that you've unlocked your passaggio and your upper register. Those were kind of big things. We can even get more specific. You can have very specific vocal technique goals. Like, I would love to be able to master this song by the end of the year, or whatever, okay? I want you to spend some time to really think about your goals this week as well, because that's going to help us to know how we can best help you. When I look at you guys, when you walk in the studio, I look at you and I think about, okay, what are we doing? Where am I going with this voice? What are they trying to do? Where are they at? And I really like to think about that. And that's how I work with you guys. I don't work with everybody the same. I work with you based off of what I think it is that you're trying to do. Anyway, so big thing, David Bowie, great singer, even though he's not always doing what we would consider the perfect technical things. Think about your goals, talk about your goals with myself or whoever instructor you're working with, and have a great rest of this week, okay? Thanks.